Gonsalves, who I love, hello Ricardo, I know you're watching the show, he used to go by Richard until he worked at SBS.
Richard
and then he
Gonzo,
became,
yeah.
then he became Ricardo.
Love you too, Jan Fran, and she's right. Before working at SBS, I was...
Hello, I'm Richard Goncalves. I'm Richard Goncalves. I'm Richard Goncalves.
Richard Goncalves. Richard Goncalves.
Richard Goncalves has the details.
But the thing is, I was Ricardo before I was Richard. So my family migrated from the Portuguese island of Madeira to Australia in the very late 1970s. And I was born in Wollongong on the New South Wales south coast as Ricardo George Gonsalves, George with a J. I grew up in a very traditional Portuguese family. Portuguese was my first language. I ate a lot of Portuguese food and I even did a bit of Portuguese folkloric dancing. Now, I don't remember how it happened, but when I started primary school, I was called Richard. My parents didn't question it and I just became Richard Goncalves to my friends, my family, and in school and early in my career. When I was offered a job at SBS in 2010, I was asked if Richard or Ricardo was my real name, and that was the catalyst for the change, both professionally and personally. Not because I had to, but because I was in an environment where diversity wasn't just accepted, but celebrated. It allowed me to be my authentic self with an even greater sense of identity, happier, and ultimately more productive. So that's why I went from Ricardo to Richard to Ricardo.